elephants were butchered each year for their precious tusks. Statistics from the Kenya Wildlife Service indicate that in 1970, Kenya had 130,000 elephants. This figure had dropped to 20,000 in 1989. Experts say Africa lost 19,000 elephants to poachers annually in the 1970s, 8,000 in the 1980s, and only 34 each year in the 7 years that the ban has been in place. And Kenya's elephant population has risen to 26,000 thanks to the ban. Apart from the countries that are pressing for a lifting of the ban, Kenya, Zambia, and most of the other countries with elephants within their territory are arguing that populations are not steady enough to justify full-scale trade in ivory. Most countries in Africa do not have the capacity to provide security to police the extensive national parks. The director of the Kenya Wildlife Service, Dr. David Weston, is emphatic about the position Kenya will take in Harare.
CITES is for the protection of species threatened by trade, and we believe in this case that the trade has been effective. We therefore fully support a no trade in ivory position at this point, because based on the expert committee which submitted its findings, there was every reason to believe that there are not adequate mechanisms in place to trade, particularly in the recipient country, Japan. Now, if those trade controls are not in place, it's inevitable that the trade will get out of hand very quickly and far more quickly than we can control it. So our position is no trade in ivory.
Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, probably with support from South Africa, are proposing a resumption of trade in ivory. Their argument is that they have healthy elephant populations to justify trade. Their proposal names Japan as their trading partner. Japan, which chairs the CITES committee, supports the proposal and is lobbying for support from other members of CITES ahead of the conference of parties to CITES in Zimbabwe. The three countries want the ban lifted so they can sell their ivory stockpiles. Kenya and Zambia are the only countries that destroy their ivory stockpiles as a sign of commitment to enforcing the ban.
Should CITES member countries resume trade in ivory? Those countries with elephants within their territory strongly believe that the ban must stay. But the final verdict lies with the 141 members of CITES who meet in Harare to take a vote on the matter.
Even if all the 35-plus range states in Africa say no to a resumption of trade in ivory, there are over 100 other members of CITES with equal voting power. But which way will they vote? Farida Karone, KTN Kenya, for the CNN World Report.